Well, tubers, tubettes, various crazy people. I'm here with my friend Alex. And Alex came to Dumageddon how many days ago?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. And you are a YouTuber.
That's
so
right.
let's immediately plug your YouTube channel.
Yeah, no shame plug here. So
Shamelessly self-promoting himself.
Exactly.
Is what we specialize here.
I like that. Yeah, so the name of the channel is called Living Abroad, and I mainly do interviews like yourself, or like street interviews with random Filipinos and foreigners.
But you have only been in the Philippines for a couple days, right?
No, I've been to Dumaguete for a couple days.
Oh, okay. How long have you been in the Philippines?
I've been in the Philippines since April, so about 5 months now.
And where in the Philippines have you been?
I am currently located in Cebu City.
Okay, all right. 5 months in the Philippines. When did you start your journey? Where did you're from Canada?
Yeah.
I know that much.
That's right.
And you're how old?
I'm 35.
35. We were chit-chatting a little bit before because we just met each other today. We're having a little get-together at Ground Zero, where 2 or 3 of the YouTubers got together and we invited subscribers and anybody else that wanted to join to come by and chit-chat. And you and I were supposed to get together yesterday, and I had a dealio that prevented me from doing that. So fortunately, we got together today.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at your young age, you were able to buy a house early, you told me.
That's right.
You got that rented out. There's a little excess money coming in from that. And so how long have you been traveling? How long has it been since you've been home in Canada?
It's been 2 years, or going on to 3 years almost, that I've been traveling full time. I left in 2019, 2020, so just 2 years. But I've visited some different countries before the Philippines, yeah.
Where did you go before?
So before the Philippines, I went to Turkey, which was my first country. Turkey, Georgia, Armenia, Thailand, and now the Philippines.
What did you think of those countries? I mean, how would you rank them in order of what you thought about them?
Okay, so I think the Philippines right now is number one.
Really?
Yeah. So the first thing is the people. So when you have comfort with people around you, your surroundings, with my kind of YouTube videos talking to strangers, everyone's so friendly. And when I get rejected, they let me down kindly. It's not like Canada, or I don't feel like a creeper or something.
Right.
Some of my content's about women or dating or something.
Right.
And I don't think I can have the same approachability in Canada. So for me, the people are very kind. They're helpful. The food took me a while to get adjusted to. I'll be honest. The Filipino food is not my style of food.
Mine either.
Yeah.
No,
so
it's don't come here for the cuisine.
yeah. Whereas I would travel to Thailand for the food alone. So
Thailand,
that kind of thing. So
what was your impression of Thailand?
I love Thailand. I've been there 5 times. You
Okay.
know? My first time was 2012. I went with my best friend, then by myself with my ex-girlfriend. I think Thailand's a beautiful country. It offers everything the Philippines has to offer when it comes to the beaches and the geography and everything like that, with a little bit of bonus with the food, which I love.
Absolutely.
But the one slight downside would be the language barrier when it comes to just meeting people randomly. So I think English is definitely number one for the Philippines.
I agree. How about Turkey, the other places that you
I
visited?
think Turkey is really close to Philippines for number 2. Like I was going back and forth between the Philippines and Turkey. Right now, the U.S. dollar is extremely strong against the Turkish lira. I don't know
As
if
it
you
is
guys
the
know.
Philippine peso, yeah.
But I think even Turkey is much more.
Wow.
Because when I went to Turkey, 1 USD was only 6 lira. Now 1 USD is 18 lira.
Wow.
So you do the math, you can have a full-on entree with kebab and salad and all that for $2 or something. It's absolutely incredible, the value. Of course, the history, there's so much history. You got the mixture of Asia and Europe. The people are lovely, very attractive, very passionate people. Yeah, I love Turkey.
Okay. All right. The world's a great teacher, isn't it?
For sure. I've
I
learned
think,
so
the
much.
best thing a young guy can do, gal can do, is travel. We have all this woke stuff going on in my country right now. And I really think if you just took these young people, the 20-somethings, that are so involved in themselves and their identity and how they operate and people's perception of them, and chuck their ass on a plane and drop them over here in a third world country, it would all of a sudden stop being all about them, and they would really open their eyes. Do you agree? Or
I 100% agree completely, and I think that's a lot of the reasons why I don't plan on living in Canada like in the near future, because it just doesn't suit who I am. Like over here, I get to sit down with random people, have 10 to 20-minute conversation with them without them wanting anything from me.
No agenda.
No agenda.
Awesome.
People are so approachable. They're so welcoming. They see me, they smile, they wave. They're just so friendly here in the Philippines.
They really are.
And everywhere I've been.
It's your interview, but I got to just kind of drive home your point. Since I've been here, I've traveled 3 different times out of the country, and after 2 or 3 weeks, even though I was more comfortable with the infrastructure or the internet or the living conditions in the other countries, including America, Indonesia, Vietnam, they all had better food, better infrastructure, much more modern. They didn't have the people. And I missed it here because at the end of the day, it's the connections. It's this that you and I have right now.
Sure.
It took us a couple of guys talking, exchanging ideas, no agenda. We're not arguing politics.
Yeah.
We're not arguing the vaccine. We're not, we've got other things to do.
Yeah.
And it's opening up our eyes to different cultures, different people, different food. And it takes so much negativity out of your life. Because every day you wake up and you're kind of wide-eyed. And you're saying, wow, what's going to happen today?
Yeah,
So let me back up just a little bit. Give me a monthly, not necessarily yours, but an average monthly budget to live in Canada right now.
Oh my goodness.
What would be the minimum? If I was to move to Canada right now, how much would you say I would need to have proper shelter, transportation, and food?
If you're living by yourself,
Uh-huh.
I would say around 3,000 USD minimum.
Okay. How about Thailand?
Probably $700
Okay.
USD.
How about Turkey?
Around the same, maybe even less. That's about $700.
Okay.
And that's just bare minimum, just shelter. The things that you mentioned,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
yeah.
In the shelter, for example, would it be a safe, air-conditioned place?
Of course. So I'm basing this on about having your own private unit. So
Okay.
a 1-bedroom or studio, air conditioned, internet, of course, electricity, hydro, a gym, a pool. So in Thailand.
That's
But
Thailand,
In
yeah.
Turkey, you just take away the gym and the pool, but you still get air conditioned, internet, TV, hot shower. But something I still can't take cold showers. I don't know why, but
Right.
I just can't. So for me, those are the bare minimums. So those are same prices.
Okay. And the Philippines, so far you've been here 5 months.
Yeah.
What has been your budget for a month in the Philippines?
For myself, it's around 1,200 USD. It's,
Okay,
it's
that
more
sounds
because
about right.
yeah, I do a little bit of traveling. I go to some small different islands. I eat out every day, so if I cooked at home, that would make a huge difference in your budget.
Right.
I don't stay in the province, so that's really
Right.
high for rent. I stay in the city center.
Okay.
So I'm in IT Park. That's why my rent is so high.
Okay.
So I'm still
How much
getting
is your rent in
Yeah, 400 USD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what mine is, but I get a 3-bedroom house.
This
I think
is-
you get a condo
I
or
get a
something, right?
studio, like
Oh, a studio.
yeah.
Okay.
But my location is really preferable to myself, so that's why the rent is high. But you can find something probably half of that if you just go outside a little bit.
Okay. All right. And so, what are your future plans after the Philippines? Where's next?
When I started traveling, my goal wasn't to retire in a single country somewhere. So for me, as much as I like I love the Philippines. I came here only for 1 month initially was my goal. I've stayed here 5 times as long as that. So at some point, I have to really consider going back to Canada, handling some business
Sure.
with a house and tenants, and then going back to another country. I'm hoping somewhere back in Asia, and maybe India is a place I've always wanted to travel to. I want to
Okay.
see that subcontinent with the food, the people, so much history and culture. So I've never been there. I was there once as a child. I don't remember much, so I want to go back to India as an adult, capable person. Yeah.
Okay. Are you ever going to go back to work?
I don't think so. I'm never going
Wow.
back. I'm never going back to a 9 to
35
5.
years old, and you're going to make YouTube your career?
I will. I'll make YouTube my career. I'm going to try to meet people like yourself to try to get my content out there. Hopefully continue to make interesting videos, informative videos. Because initially I started making videos about how to come into Thailand at the time.
Okay.
So many people appreciated the help they were getting for how to enter the country.
Right.
Regardless, I'm going to try to make my passion my work, whatever that may be. I will never work for another person again.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, let me ask you this question. What if YouTube went out of business tomorrow?
I'll start my own business or something.
Would it be in Canada?
I would have to start in Canada probably, but there's a lot of business opportunities in the Philippines. I see it all around me, right? So there's so much things that are missing or that bother me a little bit, so I can take my knowledge from where I've gained from Canada, other countries, and apply it here. For example, a simple food stand here, and if you have a good quality, let's say American style hot dogs.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
the hot dogs
Yeah.
here are so super pink. I don't know what they're using. I wouldn't take a bite into it, to be honest. But a genuine like hot dog here, and just sell 1 or 2 items, but sell it nice at a night market. Hire somebody, pay them minimum wage or whatever, have them sell it, count your hot dogs, count your buns, you know, keep inventory. A proper business will do really well. That's just something simple, but
Yeah.
something like that, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, well, back in the day, I think it was in the 80s or the 90s, they banned red dye number something in America, and I
Okay.
thought that was it. But it turns out they just shipped it over here to the Philippines
Okay, so
because they
that's
have
what
the
it is.
world's reddest hot dogs,
looks-
man. It's like
It looks like a dog's wiener
looks
to
like
me.
looks like a fire truck.
It looks weird, whatever it is. It just does not look appealing to me.
No, and it's chock full of sugar and oh God knows what else.
I don't know what's in there. I'm not too
But-
scared to take a bite.
You would have to learn the ins and outs of the business and the permits and the
Definitely.
legalities of it.
But-
Starting a business over here can be an audacious task, but it's not impossible.
Sure.
And I'm sure a guy like you would be able to figure out how to legally set that up. But you know what? It has occurred to me that a good old-fashioned American chili dog
Yeah.
and just have a little stand somewhere. And I can even tell you that up in Valencia Plaza, there are guys that rent tents up there for like 100 pesos,
Wow.
okay, a month. I don't know how they, or 300 pesos.
Yeah.
It's really stupid small. And they make more money on Sunday than a guy that owns a full-blown restaurant, brick and mortar, by the
There
time
you
you
go.
take away the overhead. Because I've talked to them both. I actually ran a bar about 3 years ago for a friend of mine that was severely sick. And I saw his books, and I saw what was coming in, and I saw what was going out. And then I chatted up with a guy up in Valencia Plaza who sells bratwurst and all this,
Yeah.
that, and the other. And they make more money in that one day than, because they have no overhead.
There's no overhead.
He's manufacturing, he's got a way,
Yeah.
he knows how to make sausage and ham and all that kind of stuff, so he's got a talent.
Yeah.
And then there's other guys that have little coffee stands, and it can be done.
It
So,
can. And because cost of living is lower here, it's much more manageable, right?
Sure.
And even if you have staff, 1 or 2 people is not much considered compared to like having a full-on restaurant with waiters, waitresses, cooks, and
Oh.
like the lease for the unit. Everything
Brutal.
is too much.
brutal. I don't know. I'm so adverse to work anymore that I wouldn't do any of them, but you know, that's just me. So, all right, so you're 35, you've been here 5 months. Where's your next destination?
So yeah, right now I think that the first thing would have to be just to go back to Canada, as I mentioned. But I'm open to anything. For me, there's no specific idea of what I want to do, as long as I can see a different world. You know, I want to see different people, get their stories. You know, just talking to anyone that wants to step away from that like rat race, that cycle of just going to work, coming home, taking a shower, eating something, and having 1 hour to yourself.
Right.
That's not the life I want to live. And
Right.
if I could give one piece of advice to anyone out there, is try to work for yourself. No matter what that is, just work towards your dreams, because it's scary, you know, waking up one day and realizing most of your life has been just put into work, and you have just
Amen to that.
like structure to show for it, basically.
Yeah.
That's it.
See, I've already been there, done that, made that mistake, and that what's water under the bridge.
Yeah.
For me, and I can't sit here and feel sorry for myself because I've lived more in the last 5 years here than I did the first 62 while I was living in America.
Okay.
So, if nothing else, there is. I would like to offer up a tremendous amount of hope for those guys my age
Yeah.
that are sitting around doing just that. They go to work or they come home and they sit around, they watch TV for 2 hours, and that's it, day in, day out. I've always referred to that as Groundhog Day, and that's easy. It's if you are willing to step out of your comfort zone, save up a few bucks. Now that the pandemic is pretty much over, I hope, just come out here or anywhere. Vietnam, Turkey, Thailand, I don't know, Alaska,
Even
wherever,
Georgia
you
is a
know,
great
just
place.
Canada. I don't know, just figure out,
Anywhere.
you know, go someplace new, take a look around, see the world, because you got a lot more years behind you than you do in front of you at my stage of the game. And so you're going to be pretty much nomadic. You're just going to stay
Yeah.
bouncing. Do you have any kind of desire or plan to find what you would say, okay, I've been to 20 different countries, and we'll just use the Philippines because we're sitting
Sure.
here. And after being to 20 or 25 different spots, you say, you know what, 5 years from now, when you're 40 or whatever, you say, you know what, the Philippines is where I want to base. Are you into setting up here? Are you interested in entering like a relationship with a female? Is that part of your agenda? Because it doesn't strike me that it is with you. You're mostly out here just basically
Living life.
seeing the people, checking
Yeah.
out the countries. So I don't think that's a big priority for you.
It's not a
Am I
priority.
correct or
You're
no?
correct, absolutely. I do intend to travel to as many countries as possible. The way I feel right now, it takes a special someone to be able to do that with me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be hard to find someone that has a strong enough passport like I do. We were very lucky to come from the U.S. and Canada to have that passport. It
Yeah.
opens up so many opportunities for you.
Yeah.
And for me, I'll step back a little bit. I have this comfort knowing that I can just sign up for any online English teaching jobs.
Right.
And just, Cambly, for example, $10 an hour, 500 pesos, you work for 2 hours, you can make a comfortable living here, for
Sure,
example.
you can.
So exactly, so it's going to take a lot for me to ask that of another girl to join me on my journey. It could happen in the future, I'm not going to say no.
Right.
As of right now, I'm planning to just see as many places as possible, but who knows what that happens in 5 years, I might change my feelings from now.
Yeah. Well, it's really refreshing to talk to you, Alex. I got to confess, because the majority of the people that I talk to, well, for first part, they're mostly my age. It's very rare that I get an opportunity to speak to someone in your age bracket. And most of the guys that I talk to are here for economics, like me. They want to be able to live on their pension and still stay comfortable, and they're also looking for companionship, and that seems to be their two priorities. But you, my friend, breaks that mold. And I think that that's awesome. I feel really honored and privileged to have had you on the channel. And I really want to thank you for spending some time with me.
my
Let's plug
pleasure.
your channel one more time.
Yeah,
I'll
so-
put a link to it in the description box.
Thank you, Paul. No, the name of the channel is called Living Abroad.
All right.
That's it.
That's
Check it out.
that's a pretty damn good title.
Pretty on the nose, right? I'm living abroad, so that's the name of the channel.
All right. Any last thoughts that you want to tell these crazy people that watch my channel?
No, I just want to thank you as well for meeting me, right? You don't have
My
to do
pleasure.
any of this. And the thing I like about yourself, you're really down to earth. You're a regular guy that just loves life, it seems like to me. Like you didn't have to organize this meetup, but you did. And that's what I like about everybody here. No one cares how many subscribers this person has or that
No.
person has.
No.
Nobody's here for that specific thing. I've been talking to everybody here. So people are lovely. I just want to thank you for giving so much information to everyone that's watching and continue doing your stuff. And I wish you nothing but happiness and success.
Back at you, brother.
All right, buddy.
All right. We'll see you again. Thanks,
Bye.
crazy
See you
people.
guys. Bye.